What if your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing to keep you safe? What if your weight gain isn't a failure, but a sign that your body is actually remembering something that you probably don't? And trauma is a huge issue when it comes to weight loss. This is something that not a lot of people talk about. They'll tell you to count your macros. They'll tell you to eat less and move more. They'll tell you to do cardio. But there's this one big missing piece that I see with a lot of people, and myself included, is if you don't regulate your nervous system and if you don't deal with the underlying trauma that you have in your life, you will never get the weight that you desire. Let's first reframe the problem. The problem is not that you're lazy or you don't know what you're doing. So many people carry around deep shame around their bodies, and they have body dysmorphia. They think that they're not good enough just because they have a few extra pounds around their waist. They believe they're lazy, undisciplined, and broken. But the truth is, for many trauma survivors, weight gain is just a symptom of that. It's not about weakness, it's about survival. The body will always remember what the mind tries to forget. And in the book, The Body Keeps a Score, super good book, I highly recommend it, basically talks about this, how our trauma that has taken place in our life, even though our minds try to forget, our bodies will always remember. It hides in our nervous system, it hides in our fascia. And until we face that trauma and process it head on, it's not gonna go away. An example is when you grow up in an environment not feeling safe, either emotionally or physically, and that creates your nervous system. When we're younger, we develop our attachment styles, we develop how we see the world, how we perceive it, and if we don't self-reflect and have introspection about, okay, wait, why am I an anxious person? Or why am I always anxiously attached? And why do I always catastrophize the worst thing possible that could happen? There's a reason for that, and it's how you grew up. So I know that looking into these things might be messy and really hard and scary, and I definitely recommend getting a professional to dissect, your childhood and the traumatic things that have taken place in your life. But you'll notice that your body starts to heal when you start to heal your trauma. So let's talk science for a moment. When we experience trauma, whether that's abuse or neglect or abandonment, bullying, even chronic stress in our bodies, the body often goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode. Some people get hypervigilant, always on edge, always moving. Others freeze, they shut down, they can't move, they disassociate. But here's what people don't realize. If you're in a freeze mode, your metabolism shuts down. Your appetite regulation goes offline. Food becomes a coping mechanism, and you might be dealing with that right now. Your body is always trying to protect you. So if you've tried every single diet, every single pill, every single workout regimen, and you're still not getting anywhere, I highly recommend you start working on your nervous system and healing your trauma. I'm gonna give you a personal story. So I dealt with chronic illness for 12 years, and I believe that I had this illness for so long because I continuously had traumatic events take place in my life and I never looked at them. It all started when I was 20 and something really bad happened, something that should never happen to somebody. And after that, I shoved it down and I put it into the deepest, darkest hole in my chest, in my heart, and I didn't look at it again. And I got Lyme disease sometime around that time, but I struggled with it for so many years because my nervous system was off, because I didn't even realize my body remembered what my mind wanted to forget. And it wasn't until I went to therapy, I did EMDR, I looked at all the ugly that took place in my life and put it out on a table in front of my therapist, and we dissected it, that I was finally able to lose the inflammation in my body, to find a way to heal my Lyme disease. And you can watch the video up here, it's actually pretty cool. I got put inside of a human crock pot. Life is not meant to be living in perpetual trauma, living in a state of wanting to outrun your past. I look at my past now and I'm like, you know what? That was a part of me. It happened, and that is not okay. But guess what? I did something about it. And I'm actually writing a memoir right now about kind of like trauma and healing from chronic illness and just life in general. Super stoked about that. Super scary to put myself out there like that. But I think vulnerability breeds healing. So whether you're on the other side of this camera and you completely understand and agree with what I'm saying, or you don't, I highly recommend looking into either therapy or some sort of somatic work to re-regulate your nervous system, to look underneath the surface, and then you can start to lose the weight and the inflammation. You yourself are a beautiful human. Your soul is amazing, and your soul is only here for so long on earth. So I don't want you to go the next however many years hating yourself. You can change, and you can rewire your mind out of body dysmorphia, out of feeling like your self-worth is in your pant size, out of thinking that if you have a little bit of a belly, it makes you ugly. Promise you, it doesn't. So the next time you look in the mirror and you feel that familiar judgment, I want you to pause for a second. Don't ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Ask yourself, what happened to me? What happened, and why am I the way that I am? What are some things that are really scary, and what are some things that maybe were out of my control and something that I really don't want to look at, keep running from? Name it. You have to name it to tame it. And you'll find that there's freedom on the other side of that. And if you're ready to go deeper with your healing journey, feel free to click the link below. I made a 30-day holistic healing guide, and then I'm open for one-on-one clients soon. So be on the lookout for that. But I believe that we can get there, and I believe that you can get there even right now, taking action after this video, not just saying, I don't want to do that, it's too hard. Actually look yourself in the face and say, am I going to continue to live like this, or am I going to change? I'll catch you guys later.